All right, man. All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Timone Show. Here's my guest, Jamar. How you doing today, Jamar?
Doing all right.
Hell
I
yeah.
need to talk loud. Can I hear me?
Yeah. Volume's gonna be fine, I think. Or I talk loud naturally, so I get it from my mom.
I don't talk loud. My shit be kind of low.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause usually there's music in the background and shit, and so we'll do
They
it
should be
fast.
able to hear me.
Yeah, they should do fast.
Should we scoot closer?
No, we're close enough.
Until
I think so.
closer. Be sure.
All right.
Okay.
But you want to go back to Hollow Earth?
Yeah. Okay. So I was just basically saying that, if you look at this shit, it's if you look at it, it's a lot of stuff. Okay, based on that theory, right? Some social
How you
stuff
doing?
I looked at.
How you doing?
Hi.
We was recording because
It's all right.
through our video and shit.
It's all right.
Oh, y'all recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he just was speaking. You see, I said, how you doing? I'm like, how you doing?
Anyways,
It's all right.
so I go into this Hollow Earth thing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, now there's places in the, around the Earth that are so-called, access points to going inside the Earth. Now, if you try to go to any of these so-called places that are pathways, to the entrances of the Earth, they are guarded, bro.
Yeah.
All of them.
By just like military or
Yeah, military and shit.
yeah.
Okay. That's a guy. What's his name? I can't think of his name. It's a white guy. He was in Operation. I'm not fucking thinking of it right now. Anyways, when the United States government was chasing Hitler down way back then,
Yeah.
you probably saw this documentary I'm speaking of. When the United States government was chasing Hitler down way back when, Hitler fled to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay, Hitler fled to Antarctica. Operation High Jump.
Operation High Jump.
Operation High Jump is what it was called. Okay. Now,
I'll put some links to some sort of Operation High Jump links in the description below.
in Operation High Jump, they sent a crew, fully equipped, to go down to Antarctica and basically set up a base there, because they believed that Hitler was setting up base there, which he was, and they wanted to know why.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the process of going down there, it's a documentary with this guy. I can't think of his name, but he is some type of decorated, pilot back in that time.
Okay.
He went through a lot of, early wars, and he was a high-ranking officer in this time, So he is flying into what would now be Antarctica. Okay. He's flying over water. It's freezing cold. The temperature is low. He expecting to come up into a barren iceland. This is real testimony. It's recorded, footage of it and everything. He expecting to come into a barren iceland. But when he get there, he see green fields and shit. And he tripping, looking, like, man, am I lost? But he went the right way.
Right.
But this Antarctica is supposed to be freezing cold. But that's not what he saw.
Right.
So he say as he flying, he come up into a point where he see a hole in the ground. Okay. He said the hole was almost a mile across, maybe.
Wow.
A huge entrance way right into the earth.
Wow.
And some type of ships was flying out there. And I don't know how people feel. Some people got their own beliefs about aliens and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this is this man's words, And
I really love science fiction, so I'm all about aliens and shit, dude. So
but I don't think it's fiction.
Right, right, right.
So
Well, yeah, they all got to base it on something,
right.
Like, no one just makes the shit up, like, or
So look, the guy says in the video, the aircrafts come up. He said they took control of his plane. They said, they talked to him through his mic and asked him what was he doing.
right.
He told them, he was from Operation High Jump. He was U.S. Marine, whatever, whatever, whatever. Gave him his name. Said they flew him out of there and let him go. Now, to this day, you cannot fly over Antarctica, bro.
Yeah,
It's illegal.
yeah.
No.
There's a international treaty.
Yeah, international treaty not to fly over. Why?
Yeah.
Why would it was to hide?
And that's part of some of the same shit that the flat earthers are about. I'll show you their map later, dude. If I can, like, I would show it on here, but it won't like show well from my phone onto there. But I'll show you their little map and shit later about
it being flat.
Yeah, dude. Like, but we'll get to, we'll get on that shit later. Like, I've already had 3 episodes on fucking flat earth. We don't need to get on that shit.
So, but yeah, no, the flat earth thing, I don't agree with the earth.
Yeah, it's fine. That's fine.
No, I'm not. I'm not against nobody whose theory is.
They also talk about the fucking international Antarctica treaty about how you can't go there, and then like, but they're the only part you can go there, like how like Metallica had a concert there. You can go to like little or like their own little like designated fucking Antarctica tours that they have there. Like that's the only shit you can do there.
Metallica had a concert.
Yeah.
There? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I don't know, like a few years ago or whatever. Dude. Yeah, they had so like, so they'll do still, huh? Oh, you got a lighter?
No,
No.
Oh yeah.
So like yeah, so they'll do shit like that to like and be like, oh, there's nothing to hide here, fucking we'll have shows and fucking we have tours here or whatever. But then you try to freely explore, you can't do that. You'll go, they'll either turn you away or if you're persistent enough, you'll go to jail or whatever type of fucking, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I know what you're saying, man. A lot of that stuff, these secrets and shit that get exposed, they make you question existence. You know what I'm saying? Who is really who came from where? Who is God? Who is man? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this shit is fucked up. And like I've been doing a lot of research into
apparently there's a portal in the fucking North Pole that fucking that can lead us into a fucking some sort of alternate dimension to where we become like this some sort of like ether energy fucking like the highest form of fucking evolution we can reach or where we become like a conscious energy.
Okay, and it's in the North Pole.
Yeah.
I heard about some shit. Yeah. Electives. 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 But speaking back on that hollow earth theory, this was the second time that I had came across that.
Yeah.
Because
they advertise it too on YouTube all the time on the ads.
Well, no. I got off into my history, Black history, a long time. Well, not a long time ago, but probably like a year or two ago. And I got off into studying a lot of shit and just reading different shit, Bibles and different people's beliefs around the world. Trying to figure out the origin of man and trying to, just educate myself more about that shit. And I came across the story of Yakub. You ever heard of that?
No. Enlighten me.
The story of Yakub is the story that I don't want to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to say some Muslims believe, but I will say it's the stories that the 5%ers believe. You know who 5%ers are?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who don't know who 5%ers are, the 5%ers are a group of Muslims, and they call themselves the 5% because according to them, it's 85% of the people who live in the dark it's 10% of the people who know the truth and control the 85%, and then it's the remaining 5% who know the truth and try to expose it. And that's what they call themselves, the 5%ers. 5%ers are a black group, and predominantly black, and they believe in a story called Yakub, which has a lot of, even as far fetched as it is, it's got a lot of points in. And to validate, how relevant the story is, you would have to educate yourself about some other topics, okay? Because they believe that a long time ago, this planet was already inhabited by a kind of people, okay? So not a man like you and I, but a kind of people, okay? And they said that however many thousands of years ago, they planet got destroyed.
Oh yeah.
Which is in our solar system.
Okay.
Okay. According to this is they text. Okay. They planet got destroyed. On they planet lived two races of people. One people was a dark, like a black people, what you would consider black today.
Okay.
And one people was black, but what you would consider a light skinned black person. Lived on this planet.
Like Quentin.
Yeah. Like Quentin and my cousin, they just walked in. They light, but they fully black.
Yeah.
But they say that these two people lived on this planet. Well, that planet was destroyed when it collided with another planet that only come into rotation into the solar system every so many years. Okay. Now, that sounds a little far-fetched to, and I'm not going to say uneducated, that's not the right word, but it sounds a little far-fetched to a person who don't know, much about the solar system that we live in. Okay. Now, if you know the the asteroid belt.
Yeah.
In our solar system.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't know the asteroid belt used to be a planet.
Okay.
You ever heard of Planet X or Nairobi?
I've heard of Nairobi. I never heard of Planet X.
Well, that's another word that they call it. Planet X or Nairobi is what they call it. I'm not sure what the 7% is referred to it as. I can't think of it, but they claim that their planet was destroyed by another planet that comes into orbit every so many years and collided with their planet because it's a much bigger planet, destroyed their planet. Well, you could check with any scientist and they'll tell you that the reason the asteroid belt is there in our solar system is because it at once was a planet. And they believe that there is another planet in our solar system that takes a much, much larger orbit than all the rest of the planets.
Okay.
Now,
so it's eventually gonna crash through the asteroid belt because that will be its fucking path of orbit. Yeah.
Okay, and it's eventually gonna come back, but the year I'm not precise with my numbers or whatever, so don't hold me accountable for that. So I don't want to say exactly what the.
None of us have any sort of degrees in engineering or astrophysics.
It's just self-taught. Educating myself and doing research myself. But okay, so they give you a lot of BS. You hear about our planet heating up.
Yeah.
Okay. And don't think I'm getting off topic. I'm not getting off topic. All this shit gonna link.
I got some shit to say about that too, okay. But go continue.
Now they say stuff about our planet heating up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they tell you all this BS, and they say it's about they tell you it's all this BS, and it's about stuff we use and eating holes in the ozone layer and.
Yeah, like thinning out the atmospheres and the ionosphere and the ozone layer and all that. Yeah, that's always been bullshit.
There's no way you can destroy that stuff. It's self-repairing. It was here long before us. You know what I'm saying? Now we can damage it,
Yeah.
okay, but not to the point where it's doing what it's doing.
Like
See what
a
people,
fucking aerosol can
yeah,
reaching from
mm-mm.
here all the way to fucking
Yeah,
get the
that's some
fuck out of
bullshit.
here, dude.
That's some
Like,
bullshit, y'all. What they don't tell you that is all the planets is heating up.
yeah.
It's not just Earth. They can look on you. That they got shit out there, satellites and all type of shit. All the planets is heating up.
But
Why are all the planets heating up, bro? Because
it's
they're
going back
getting
to
pushed closer to the sun.
yeah.
For them to get pushed closer to the sun, it must be something with a larger mass and force
Okay.
coming into that field.
But then also think back to the time before the ice age.
Mhm.
Everything was like tropical, whatever. Then there's the ice age, and now all of a sudden there's a North Pole, there's a South Pole, whatever. So with the Earth heating up, it might not just be heating up; it's just going back to its normal fucking state of fucking all the land being tropical. There's land in the North Pole underneath all that ice and shit, and then there's
Right.
land in Antarctica.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Underneath all that ice and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we might just be going, and then with all that ice that's gonna be melting, we'll have more water. So we'll have like a bunch of our coast will be gone. Like we'll get rid of
Yeah, I
California.
seen that.
We'll get rid of California and a bunch of other shit that's along the coast. We'll get rid of the East Coast maybe, if like a lot of the
They
shit.
got new coastal line maps. Have you saw those?
No, I haven't.
Man,
But
I got some Muslim friends that got
yeah,
new coastline maps. The government got them.
that's what's up, dude.
They show when this water melt here because it's gonna
My
happen.
bag over there.
Yeah, need
Yeah,
it.
grab that, dude. We gotta light another one.
Okay. But wait, I ain't want to get off track. Let me finish what I was
Yeah,
saying.
go back to what you were saying, definitely.
So the people, okay, our planet's heating up, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely
And the
heating up.
planets are really heating up because they're being moved closer to the sun, which is our heat source.
Yeah.
This is fact.
Right.
It's the only reason we could heat up, right?
Right.
Because we move closer to the sun. But for us to move closer to the sun, even though we in space, every planet got its own gravitational field, which move both ways. You know, people think it just pull in, but it actually moves both ways.
It has to, because if space is a vacuum,
yeah, space is a vacuum.
Yeah, it has to. Like, yeah.
So it got to be an equal and opposite force on both
Yeah,
sides. You
yeah,
know what
exactly.
I'm saying? In order to keep that object where it's at.
Yeah.
You know. Well, this planet that these other people speak of in their story and said it come back in here, it comes back into rotation and close to our planets every so many thousand years. That time is now. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, according to their story, now this is what gives their story some bit of truth, is because that's really happening. And science even proves that it was another planet that got destroyed. They don't know
And
much
how long
about
ago
it.
were they talking about that happening? Like when they were writing it in their documents?
A long time ago.
So like, yeah, so they were onto that shit fucking like hundreds of years ago.
Okay.
You
Right.
know, so like, yeah.
So,
like,
now check
that's
this.
some deep shit right there.
Now check this. They claim that when these people came here, these two races was very much advanced. As you know, and as we know, our civilization here on Earth is new compared to the age of the solar system and all the other planets. This shit here is new,
Right.
extra new, even though it's a long time in the spectrum of human thinking, but to the age it's new.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So when they came here, these people say that they people were so advanced, they went inside the earth and they lived there. You know what I'm saying? Because the atmosphere was different here or whatever, you know. So they went inside the earth where shit was more tolerable, and there was a people already here that they didn't want to taint or take over.
Okay.
Okay, they shit. So they lived inside the earth.
So yeah, like they wanted to just live here peacefully amongst themselves, not fucking
Right.
with shit. You know,
Right.
like that's dope.
They wanted to live here
Yeah.
peacefully. Okay. Now, even
We
though
can
these
take a
two
lesson from
tribes
that.
moved here together, they had an internal hatred towards each other,
Yeah.
where they didn't intermix with each other. Okay, The dark people stayed with the dark people. The lighter of the tribe stayed with the lighter of the tribe. They each had their own king and queen from each side, you know. Well, turns out,
But they all shared the Hollow Earth
yeah,
together. Okay.
yeah, they all shared the hollow earth together, but they did not intermix.
Right.
Well, turns out the kid from the king and the queen of one side and the kid from the king and the queen of the other side have been sneaking up to the surface. This is according to their text, having sex. Okay. Now, yeah. Now, when they found this shit out,
Wow, that's heavy.
yeah. Now I'm gonna take you back, and I'm gonna cross reference with you.
Yeah.
And the reason that I cross reference is to show you that I'm not being biased in my thoughts,
Exactly. Hell yeah.
or
Absolutely.
you know, I want you to know that everything I'm giving you is just research, and I'm just piecing it together and feeding it back to you. And I'm not saying that this is what I believe. I'm cross referencing everything because I'm trying to figure out just like the next person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
You got to keep an open mind to
yeah.
everything.
Well, these people, according to the text of the 5%, these people had strict rules where they did not interact or be seen by the people who lived above because they were so far advanced, okay, that they didn't want to taint these people's ways, you know, or move them, you know, that was part of their shit. We don't show them none of the shit that we know because we know shit. We far more advanced than them. They not ready to deal with what we dealing with, okay.
Okay.
Now, if you look in the Bible, and when I say Bible, I speak of King James Version Bible,
Okay.
okay. It's stories in the Bible about how God spoke clearly with the angels and said, hey, you don't intermix with the people on the earth, on the surface, right? We don't know. According to their text, though, the heaven is above.
Yeah.
According to their text, the heaven is below. Okay. But they both had the same story in which you don't intermix with the people,
Yeah, dude. I've been reading.
right?
I've been reading like both. Like
Yeah.
there's especially when I watch all those damn flat Earth documentaries, dude. Because some of them they'll talk about the firmament, and
Mhm.
it's basically how we're like in a giant snow globe, and there's like an impenetrable force, the firmament, which is heaven, whatever. But then also some of them will be talking about like how I mentioned before, that fucking portal in the North Pole that will fucking lead us down to where we reach heaven from there, or whatever. So I'm talking.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it go both
yeah,
ways.
so I've been reading on both, or not reading, but watching videos and shit on both of them, dude. Fucking, so like, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's all fascinating, and it's all stuff that's it's interesting to look into, man. Sorry to cut you off,
No,
man.
no, you
Fucking,
ain't coming up.
yeah. So
But I hear you, man. It is, and it's all just a part of understanding. But you know, I just try to take all, you know, and I try to read everybody's text, you know,
yeah, absolutely,
and bring them all in together because we all live in the same life, just seeing it through different eyes, you know. So one of the stories is correct. Everybody's story is correct, but it's about piecing them together and finding them similarities
yeah, finding out and like getting
between
the
them all.
and lining up the timelines and figuring out what was where, and yeah,
Yeah, what
dude,
was where, what was where.
absolutely,
Because there's a lot of shit that I know really happened. You know, like I said, that planet exploded, that shit really happened. You know what I'm saying? All scientists know that no matter, you know, where you come from, what country, what religion, what race you come from, they know that there was a planet here, another one that exploded. Now, do they know about this other one? They just assuming that. But these people say, yes, it's another planet here.
right.
You know, you go back and look at like Sumerian texts and shit like that. These people have full knowledge of solar systems and shit. They knew more shit as if they had been there.
So it's like our solar system is like a mini solar system that's part of a bigger one. You know, that's where this one planet it takes however many fucking
There you
X
go.
amount of years for it to fully fucking rotate. When we're rotating the opposite way, like we're like our part of the solar system is like some other planet's moon or some shit, you know, like
There you go.
you know what I'm saying?
Our
Like,
sun
yeah,
probably rotate around another sun that we can't see and ain't never been to. But this motherfucker sun probably got a whole bunch of other suns. It
yeah.
might not even be called a sun. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm giving it
That's
a
just the
name.
generic term, you know.
Yeah, it
Fucking,
might not
it's
be called a sun.
yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but
That's just the
I
generic
just know
term
that
for a fucking mother star.
we don't know this world the way that we think we know this world. You know, I just want to figure out this shit, man. Like every day, I think about a way that I'm piecing it together, man, the best way I can, and just trying to understand. It's a lot of different.
All I can say is just don't go down like too deep into some certain rabbit holes, man, and get yourself going crazy over some shit, man. Always fucking dig yourself out and then
Like
fucking
what
go
you
on,
mean?
man. Because like some people will just fucking just fully research one thing and just go fucking crazy on that one thing and just they'll be in their fucking whatever fucking computer and their fucking at the library whatever they do their research on and just fucking just get lost in that one fucking I don't
So
know.
let me ask you this:
Uh,
You ever hear? I want to ask you, what do you think about power and control in America?
it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, I'm a full believer in the fucking Jewish conspiracy and the fucking Illuminati and the
Being that
Freemasons,
which Jewish conspiracy that they not the real Jews?
the fucking how they control fucking centralized banking
Oh, that's
of
true.
like of the fucking like with the like Federal Reserve and all that shit, dude. Fucking,
That ain't no conspiracy.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
facts.
I mean,
They own that shit.
and how and basically they own the entertainment industry also because like any you look at fucking more than half the fucking names on the fucking credits at the end of the fucking movie there were some Jewish last names dude fucking like
Hmm.
get the fuck out of here so like I don't know and then so then I'm a full believer in the fucking with the Freemasons and the Illuminati being one and the same you know fucking what and then that also being Jewish corrupted controlled or whatever, dude. Like that's like they established. I believe like they established the centralized banking or whatever through that shit. And then there's some other shit, dude. I don't know. It's just so crazy, dude. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. Power and control, fucking. It's crazy. Like the presidents are puppets. Like all the politicians are puppets. Like every single one of them. There's all like everything's controlled by fucking the UN roundtable. Like around the entire fucking planet. You know. And I don't really know if there's much that we can really do about
Yeah, I agree.
it.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say that I think it's because they spend so much money on keeping us dumb. Like a lot of people don't know, man. The most valuable thing on the planet is information.
Yeah,
People die
absolutely.
over that
Yeah,
shit. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? You get killed for what you know.
They used to burn fucking literature back in the day,
Yeah,
dude. Like, yeah,
it's the most valuable thing on the planet, man. So the number one thing that they spend money on is keeping the population stupid.
right.
You ever read Have you ever read the Kissinger report? Or
No, I haven't.
oh man, you got to read that. It's NSSM 220, which is
You want to do a part two, man? I gotta wrap this one up, man. Here in a second.
yeah, we can wrap this up, man. We
You
can
want to
go
do a
in.
part two?
Yeah, we can
Hell
go
yeah.
in.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this one up, man.
We got a lot to talk about still.
We're gonna do a part two here. This that will air the next week. And then also, if there's any topics that you'd like me and my guests to talk about, fucking feel free to put them in the comments below. And hit that sexy subscribe button or
Gotta
over below.
subscribe.
Fuck it. And see you next week.
All right, man.